One. Hey there, this is episode 2. I have my incredible friend Brad Church with me.
Hi.
And he is a local legend in my book, so has done so much theater. I personally got to share some shows like Les Miserables and Stuart Little with him, but he has a diverse, incredible history, has been the leading man in this area and in Tallahassee and beyond. And so I am so thrilled to learn what I can from him. And so this will be just like episode 1, loose, relaxed, where we just kind of learn from each other. And so Brad, tell me, where did you get your start? You know, where did the bug come from?
Actually high school.
Yeah.
Freshman year, I still lived in Des Moines at the time, went to Hoover. There was an audition notice for Babes in Toyland.
Okay.
And I knew I liked to sing.
Yeah.
And it was a musical. I didn't know anything about acting.
Did you know that you were a singer like in boyhood?
I
elementary
was.
And,
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, my dad used to make me, when he was in the basement, my dad was a amateur photographer and had a dark room. And when he was in the basement, he would ask me to come down and sing to him
Oh, man.
while he was working. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, high school, you know, what my experience is kind of have to work your way up and there's seniority.
Absolutely.
Was that kind of
It was.
the
So
way you had to pave your way?
yeah, so I was excited because it was my first show and I wasn't considered ensemble because I had 6 lines.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
Boy Blue, little Boy Blue. So that was my first foray into theater, and ever since that, I did Taming of the Shrew immediately after that, and then we moved to Eastern Iowa,
Okay.
Eldridge,
Yeah.
close to Davenport. So that's where I finished my high school years.
Was all your theater experience in high school at the school, or did you find a local community theater?
I did not do community theater in high school. I was too busy. I was in, we called it swing choir.
Yeah.
I was in swing choir, and we did shows, and they were pretty much back to back. So, and I was in choir as well. So I didn't have time.
Any other interests that you were, athletics or
I did
any
not.
type of recreation?
I did track for
Track.
a couple of years.
Nice.
Yeah, I was fast when I was young, and then when I moved to the North Scott School District, they wanted to make me a distance runner, and I was not interested in being a distance runner. So I stopped doing track in my freshman year. So.
Okay, and then college.
College started at Northern Iowa. Kind of didn't know what I wanted to do. Started out as a music major, then dropped that, and then toward the end of the year, I wasn't happy. I didn't adjust well my first year of college. Didn't have a lot of friends at first, and then I decided I was going to transfer to Augustana, which is in Rock Island, Illinois.
Yeah.
It was when I decided to transfer that I started getting all these friends at Northern Iowa. So it was a little bittersweet, but I would not change that part of my history for anything, because Augustana was just an experience that cannot be replicated. It was
And
just
you've got a
amazing.
music therapy degree.
So at Augustana, I double majored.
Okay.
I got a BA in voice and then psychology.
Okay.
So that's how the music therapy
Yep,
kind
yep,
of
that's
intertwined.
nice.
And then I moved to Florida State, to Tallahassee, and got my master's in music therapy. Unfortunately, the music therapy world was not, it was newer and it wasn't burgeoning. So I had trouble finding work. So that's how I landed the job that I've worked now for 33 years at disability for Social Security disability. So,
well, whether you're doing music therapy or helping with
Yeah.
those struggling with disability,
yeah,
you're helping a lot of people, and that's an incredible, worthwhile task.
yeah,
So
thanks.
that reflects the incredible heart that I know you have, my friends. So what brought you to Des Moines?
So when I lived in Tallahassee for 7 years, had a great friend
there.
group, but it was hard because I couldn't see family often. I had friends that were all from Florida, so they could go home for the weekend, to visit their families. I didn't have that luxury. So I just I just decided that the time was probably right for me to make the move and to be closer to family.
Okay.
Parents aren't getting any younger, and
I seized the moment to
Yeah.
be with them. But you did do theater in Florida.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
and some nice roles out there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I got to play the baker in Into the Woods there. I got to play Anatoly in chess.
How was that?
It was amazing. So, a little background: the book of that musical is not the best, but as you know, the music, is
incredible.
just incredible.
Yes.
You've got Tim Rice with the lyrics, and you've got Benny and the ABBA folks doing the music. So it was musically, it's a beautiful show, and I think they're reviving it.
Yeah, they are.
With
It's
a new
coming-
book.
I'm going to see it this fall in Broadway.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
man.
that's one thing that I would like to see as well. So.
I can't wait. Now, in the Bakers, that's a big role as well. So
Yeah.
very emotional role.
Yeah, so I had stopped acting. I had a bit of a traumatic experience in college when I played Mitch in Streetcar.
Yeah.
And the director was unkind, and it was just a horrible experience for me. So I stopped acting for 4 years.
Okay.
And then I just saw in the paper there was an audition for Into the Woods, and I knew the music for Into the Woods. So I was like, I'll be happy with whatever, I just to be on stage again. And then when I got called for The Baker, I was just thrilled.
Man.
It's a wonderful play, musical, and the characters are just all of them are just so rich, and it's got a great story too. So it was a good reintroduction into the theater world again.
Yeah.
And then I got the bug again.
Was the show the enticement to kind of lick the wounds and overcome the hurt?
It'd been a while, and I missed performing. I was in a church choir, but I missed performing in plays. So back I went.
Yeah. And then Me and My Gal, a Grand Hotel.
Yeah, that was my last big role before moving. So, and that's another big show, Grand Hotel. So,
Was that Tommy Tune?
I can't. That's I think that's me and my girl.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, but that one is interestingly my role. The person on Broadway, David Carroll was his name. He also played Anatoly, and he also played the Baron in the other. I'm drawing a blank with the name of the Grand Hotel.
Grand Hotel.
So that was kind of interesting. He's no longer with us. He had AIDS and died in I think in the 90s.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was a powerful actor.
Did you have people you would point to as mentors, people that helped shape you in those early years, or people you looked up to?
I looked up to, like in high school, I looked up to the upperclassmen.
Yeah.
If someone, I had a really good friend who was a year older than me, and when I first auditioned, because I came late so I moved in the middle of my freshman year.
Okay.
So I started my freshman year at Hoover, and then we moved. My mom got remarried, and we moved to Eldridge. And so I didn't do theater until the next school year, and that was Fiddler on the Roof. So my good friend was Tevye.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I looked up to him, and then the next year we did 2 by 2, and I was Japheth, and it's a great, that's a really cute musical. And then I did King Arthur and Camelot my senior year.
Sir.
So yeah.
Yeah, worked your way up, and you were the leading man all the way.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's fun.
Arthur's a complicated role. That's
Yep.
fun to dive into. Des Moines, 1995.
Yeah.
You dive in, and you also, like Danny, in my first interview, had roots with the Ingersoll Dinner Theater.
I did.
Tell
yeah.
me,
Just
tell
on
me
the
what do you
street.
remember from those days?
Well, so I moved in the summer of '95, and there was I was looking for things to audition for. Ingersoll was doing Phantom, which I really did not know that version of Phantom.
The Yeston version, rather than Lloyd Webber.
I didn't know any of the music. I didn't know much about it at all. And then the Playhouse was doing Oliver. So I auditioned for Oliver. Yeah. And actually got called back for Fagin, but which is a dream role. That's one of my roles that I would really like to play.
Yes, I know that about you.
So, and I had a conversation. I didn't know John Vyers. I didn't want to be blackballed, but so I called. I had auditioned for that, and it hadn't yet been cast. And I also auditioned for Phantom. Now, I'm gonna say I'm not a fan of doing this. I'm not a fan of taking a bigger role instead of another role. I don't like doing that. But I did. I was young. I was new to Des Moines.
We all have those moments, I think, in our growth.
I was offered Phantom, and I just couldn't see taking. I was offered ensemble for Oliver, and so I chose Phantom. Did not get blackballed, thankfully.
No.
But I don't like it when other people do that, and I don't make that a practice anymore. I choose a show, and I stick with the show regardless of
how the casting goes.
Cast as I think that's just respectful. So
yeah, absolutely. But man, I'm glad you did. I got to work with Pressure Paulding.
Yes.
You were Phantom himself.
Twice.
Yeah.
We did it twice. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Now, okay, because that's something I'm always intrigued by. When you tackle a character the second time, was your process any different? Was your approach to the character any different?
I tried to make Phantom a little bit different the second time. The first time we did that show, I don't know if it was because it was the first show I did in Des Moines.
Yeah.
But it was kind of, you have those shows that you do, and the experience is magical from start to finish.
The
first
here
one was like that.
Yeah.
Now the second one, I don't want to say that I didn't enjoy it, but the magic was different.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
It was the set was different. The technical director was different. The music director was different. So I wanted to make it a little bit fresh, and hopefully I was successful.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a different experience. That's why sometimes I don't like to repeat shows, especially if I absolutely love the experience. Like another example would be Guys and Dolls at Ingersoll. I played Benny South Street the first time I did it, and I hesitated when in 2022 the Playhouse was doing Guys and Dolls, but I love Katie Merriman.
Yeah.
I love working with her. So I auditioned, and it actually, you know, I didn't have a huge role. I was basically in the ensemble, but I had a ball.
Yeah.
I had a ball.
That's a fun show.
There was just no, it was easy. It was, you know, no stress. It was fun from top to bottom.
And when you're surrounded by good people,
yeah,
it makes it
it does.
incredibly
It helps.
worth it.
It helps. Yeah.
Oh man. So dynamics of the Ingersoll Dinner Theater. Serving the meals and camaraderie. And...
We didn't have to do that as actors. So
okay.
They had staff that did it. So they did have, sometimes there would be people that were in the cast that also worked as servers.
Okay.
But it wasn't, you didn't have to. So like that was a separate job.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually had servers. And that's not my thing.
No, it's fine.
So
yeah.
I mean, I'm just not, that's not my,
the calling's
that's not where my calling was.
Storytelling, musicianship.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to play Henry Higgins as well.
Yeah. Which was, I was lucky because I was young.
Yeah.
To be playing Henry Higgins. I was 33 at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
But I would say that that would be close to the top of favorite roles.
Mm-hmm.
It was another magical experience. And working with Erin McNally was my Eliza Doolittle, and she's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Miss her doing theater. She got married and had a child, and her life path went somewhere
Still
else.
local here?
She is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, so yeah, that's an extraordinary role. Now, early on, did you have dialect coaches, like when you're?
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. We didn't. So you know, for a lot of, you know, I've been in several shows.
You've had to tackle
where I've
German
had to do
too, a couple
I've
times.
had to do German accent. I've had to. I pick up orally.
Yeah, same.
Where I can mimic, so it's not hard for me to. I would say the hardest, and I haven't had to do it really, is French for me.
Okay.
That one is hard to mimic.
Yes.
But I've done German, I've done Cockney, I've done British, I've done Russian for Anatoly.
Yeah. Yes.
So I mean, those are the ones that are a lot of fun because they, you know, you're not just, you know, a lot of times everybody wants to play the leading man, but sometimes the leading man is the most boring character in the show.
Yeah.
Because they're just a straight, you know.
Well, Henry Higgins is tough,
But he's
because
definitely not. He's three-dimensional.
But he's not nice to Eliza.
No.
You
not.
know,
I mean, he's
not till the very
snobby,
ending,
yes.
where he sings "I've grown accustomed to her face." That
Mm-hmm.
there's kind of a little bit of redemption and you know, settling into their relationship. So it's an interesting arc, that story.
Yeah, that does have and you know, those classics are always, you know, bucket list shows to do, you know, because, you know, we don't see them as much. You know, there's so many shows out there that probably will never be produced, you know, like Finian's Rainbow.
Yeah.
I love that musical. The songs are just amazing, but I don't think we would ever do it. You know, there are just certain ones that either they didn't age well, or there's a dynamic that's just not
needs to be rewritten,
right.
Even if they would even revisit some of those controversial issues.
I think they rewrote Finian's with a new book when it was recently. It was within the last few years. It came back, but I think it was with a new book, if I'm not mistaken. So there's those, but I did not, you know, it's funny because theater obviously has evolved. You know, you didn't see intimacy directors. I never had an intimate, you know, we never even thought about, you know, you've got to kiss your leading lady, you know.
Comfortable or not, ready
you know,
to go.
And in chess I had to kiss both. I mean, Anatoly was married, so I had to kiss my wife and the woman who he falls in love with, Florence. And Florence, the lady that was playing Florence happened to be one of my best friends.
Yeah.
So it was easy, but you didn't have dialect coaches back then.
No.
You did it on your own.
Now, you're like me probably. You had vocal training through college, but did you have any type of formal dance or theater training, or did you just, like me, School of Hard Knocks, just figuring it out yourself?
The people that know me know I don't like to dance.
Yeah.
I'm self-conscious. I have a hard time. I have a kind of a visual spatial thing that I don't see it when it's being demonstrated.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me. So Allison Schaefer, who I love, and who shaped a lot of my roles. I mean, she gave me the opportunity to play Wonka, which was an iconic character. But she was the one that figured out that I had this learning disability, if you will, when it comes to dancing. I have a really hard time learning it. It's not that I can't do it, but I seeing it and mirroring it is hard for me. So I don't love doing it. Although in Guys and Dolls, Michael Tomlinson, that was the first thing I'd worked with him, and that gentleman is the most gracious,
agreed,
patient.
Yes.
I mean, he was just a wonderful choreographer to work with. So when you have people like Allison Schaefer, who is also gracious, and
they're for you.
I mean,
they're for you.
And
they want you to succeed.
I mean, she's just very patient and understanding, which is.
Was there a dance you recall that was special to you in any particular show? Like for me, the Beauty and the Beast dance. I will never forget. Is there something that stands out for you?
I would have to say it would be in The Who's Tommy. I played Cousin Kevin, which was he was not a nice person. He tormented Tom, the little Tommy, but that role gets to sing Pinball Wizard.
A good
portion of the song, the verses of that song are Cousin Kevin. So doing that dance was pretty special. It was really, I mean, she did this really cool thing. We had long coats and we flipped the coats with our hands. It was just really it was hard for me, but it was rewarding in the end. So
learning School of Hard Knocks. Of course, we are surrounded by Drake Theater students, and then we have folks that went to school formally for that. Did you ever feel intimidated, or
I still feel intimidated,
right?
I mean, but there, I feel lucky, and I everybody probably says this, but I've been lucky enough to work with people in the cast who also are, have your back, who also are, I mean, Taylor Millar, I'll give a shout out to Taylor because she was, I don't know if she was the dance captain. She might have been for Young Frankenstein. And I was having trouble learning the dance, and she came to rehearsals early to work with me.
I love that.
So it's just nice when you have people that are like, they don't belittle you. They don't make fun of you because you're not at their level. I would tell everybody in Des Moines that I'm not going to be at your same level. I might learn it, but it might take me longer to learn it. But I like those challenges. It is intimidating, but
but then there's directors like a Kathy Pingle or a Katie Merriman that walk you through the why. Why are you doing this? Why are you motivated? What and they help the actor think. That you're just not reciting lines, and how to convey the story, and I think that helps you overcome maybe the lack of, I don't have a degree
Oh,
in
for
theater.
sure, for sure.
But
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned Kathy Pingle. You know, I have a list of people that I have bucket list. These are people that I want to work with. I know Kathy. I love Kathy.
Yeah.
I have never, ever been in a show that Kathy directed.
Man.
So she needs to come back so I can do at least one show with
I would
her.
love that for both of you because
I just adore her.
You're
as
a
person.
treasure to work with, and so is she. So,
Yeah,
oh man, that has to happen.
Yeah.
So, Oklahoma ensemble or a
I
particular
played,
role?
I played Slim.
Slim. Oh yeah.
So not a big part. But again, that was right after Phantom. That was the second role that I did at the Ingersoll, and I just had a blast. I like performing.
Yeah.
So, and then when you have a cast that you like performing with, the role becomes a little less important than what you're doing with the
There's shows like Oklahoma where there's plenty for the ensemble to do.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's Kansas City
Yes,
or Farmer and the
correct.
Cowman or,
Yes.
of
And the
course,
Eli
they all have
Hackman
big
stuff.
dance numbers.
But it was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good one.
That was like Skidmore. So, yep, Farmer and the Cowman. Let's see. Forever Plaid.
That's
quartet,
probably, musically speaking, one of the most difficult. I mean, it's really tight harmonies.
Yes.
So that was kind of a labor of love moment. In fact, that was the show immediately after My Fair Lady. So I was just kind of wiped out from Henry Higgins.
Yeah.
And I initially...
So that's a lot to plunge into.
I did
all those
not...
tight harmonies.
I was offered... I did not audition for that show.
Okay, yeah.
And the director, DJ Horrigan, who no longer lives here, he lives in Hawaii, another person who shaped my acting career here in Des Moines. He needed a second tenor. Frankie is the part that I played. He's the leader of the group, and I hesitated, but then I finally called him and said, "Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it," and don't regret it at all. It truly was a labor of love. The music is just, you've got the songs from the 50s, and the harmonies are just really, really difficult. So it was a very fun show. Marcus Collins, who is now in the Texas Tenors, was the first tenor in the quartet. So it was fun.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
Feel good for the audience. You did. You Can't Take It With You. You played Tony.
That was my last role at the Ingersoll. It closed the following year, and Barb Wagner, who is a mentor for my directing, was the director of that show. I was initially cast as, well, I can't think of the part. It's Essie Carmichael's husband. Essie's the one that's the ballerina.
So Tony's not where you started. There was a change.
The person that was cast as Tony had to quit for some reason. Yeah. And so I got moved into that part.
Okay. Yeah, that happens too. So that kind of exciting.
And that's another iconic show, and you have a legend like John Thompson, who is no longer with us, that played Grandpa, and working with him was always a treat because he would flub lines. But he's the only actor I've ever known in my life that could flub a line and make it look like it was you that made the mistake.
So
yeah, I mean, he was a character in real life and had a rich history of theater, even in on Broadway. He was a dancer, and his stories were just fantastic. But working with him was always an interesting thing. You had to be on your toes.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. But yeah, I can imagine the stories you could just sit and absorb from his experience. So, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing with you right now.
Yeah.
So, you got to play Snoopy, sing Supper Time with You're a Good Man, Charlie.
That's
Brown.
another favorite. You know, I that was in 2000. So it was in the fall, early fall. So we had tryouts in July, and I didn't go in thinking I would be Snoopy.
Yeah.
I didn't know what part I would be cast in, but that was a fun role.
Oh man,
it was a fun role.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have fun people playing the other parts, which helps too. And it's a small cast, which works well at the Ingersoll because the Ingersoll space was very small.
In your early years, were there go-to audition songs? Did you have songs that you like to pull out, or was everything circumstantial of this show? I'll use this song.
You know, I try really hard. I've done this all my life. I try really hard to do what the director wants you to do and sing in the style of the show, but not from the show.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of research before I audition. So I look at what they advise on the internet, and then I do the exact opposite. No, I look at it and I think, okay, those are some good ideas, you know, but for Snoopy, no. There was one role. Oh, it wasn't for. It was for My Fair Lady. So I auditioned for My Fair Lady, I wanted Henry Higgins, but thought I might be too young.
Yeah. And
so I did two songs. I did a song in the style of I mashed them together. So I arranged the music so it would be. What I did is I played Josh Baskin in Big was my first show at the Playhouse, and I was fortunate enough to be cast as the lead. So Josh Baskin, well, there's a song, I Want to Go Home, that was cut from the show, which when I found that out at auditions, I was heartbroken because I love the song. It's a beautiful song.
Yes, it is.
And it was cut. So I used that song for the Freddie part, and then I did a Camelot song because he's kind of singing.
Yes, he is.
For
perfect.
I did How to Handle a Woman for the Henry Higgins part of it.
Okay.
So I do research a lot. I kind of look at what the role, you know, if I want a role, you know, I when I was Franz Liebkind in The Producers, I went to auditions with the sole purpose of snagging that role.
Yeah,
because
good for you.
For me, it was the role to play in that show. It would just, you know. So I came to callbacks, dressed in boots, shorts, so I looked like as much like as I could. I didn't have lederhosen.
Yeah.
But John Vyers was the director, and you know, I don't know when he told me this. We had a chat, and he was like, it did not even cross my mind for you to play that part until you came to auditions and did that.
Yeah.
So
well, and you know, as the more I've done this, there are directors that are very visual. They have to see it. They have to see it visually, you know, and you did that, you know, in showing up, and
Well, and the comic roles
demonstrating.
in musicals, I think, are a lot more fun to play than if it's like, I'll just give an example, like Oklahoma. That is an example where the lead male is really just, I mean, I don't want to say there's not a lot of depth because I'll offend somebody,
Yeah.
but there's, they're a little easier to play than an Ally Hackham
Yes.
or Franz Liebkin. So I enjoy playing those
Quirky
kind of
characters.
more than
The straight
the
laced.
straight-laced ones.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because they don't take they take more, you have to create, it's more difficult to create that kind of a character than a person who is just kind of the straight-laced leading male type person.
People think Tom Hanks, they immediately will gravitate to one of his most iconic roles, which was Josh Baskins in Big.
Yeah.
And here they make a musical version.
Yeah.
Your first audition at the Playhouse, and they cast you
It was
as
not my
Josh.
first audition.
Okay.
So I had auditioned, like I said, I auditioned for Oliver.
Yeah.
And then in
Oh, yeah.
97, they did Evita again. And I auditioned. But I wanted Che.
Yeah.
And at that time, my life was pretty busy. So I decided that it was going to be Che or nothing. So I did not get cast. And then when Big was there, I was like, I really, really want to play that part.
Yeah.
Didn't know anybody at the Playhouse really. It was another great
Are you
experience.
still in touch with young Josh? Have you? Is he still in the
We're
area?
friends on Facebook. He does not. He is a fantastic performer. In fact, he's a friend of Danny's.
Okay.
They both went to the University of Nebraska.
Okay. Lincoln. Yeah.
In Lincoln. So yeah, he's
Wow.
he's around. He just doesn't perform anymore.
Okay. And you did the keyboard scene, if I'm not mistaken.
We did the keyboard scene.
So
Yeah.
How in the world does a theater create that?
It was this big, pun intended, it was this big wooden keyboard, and then it had lights, and I don't remember how the lights lit up on the notes,
Yeah.
but they did.
Now, did this sound truly operate with your feet, or was it operated from above?
It was
Yeah.
it was a trick.
Magic.
It was a gag.
Magic, yeah,
It was
yeah.
a gag. But yeah.
Oh,
And that was a great that's an iconic piece of that
Holy
you
cow.
can't do Big without doing that keyboard scene. So
What a great start at the Playhouse.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Can only imagine. So who's Tommy? So
Yeah.
I don't do that a lot. So some of these shows that you got to capture that aren't offered much. So
and that was another magical experience. That cast, I mean, was, you had Robin Spar, you had Brett Spar playing Tommy, and I didn't know Brett at the time.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been the first time I met Robin as well.
Maybe
And
the
you just
Kellers
had-
or the Smith, Aaron Smith.
Mike was. They both Kellers were in that. Yep. You just had so many people that were in it. Jake Scarin, who is, do you know Jake?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Jake was, which Tommy? 4-year-old or 10-year-old Tommy? I don't remember.
Oh, man,
He was
just a
one of the
little
younger-
boy
He was a
back
little
then.
kid. So he was in that. Just a lot of really good. Joe Tish, who is so much fun to work with, was in it.
That was such a special generation. Of
And it
actors.
was Ron directed it.
Okay.
And he's
Ron Ziegler.
Oh, he is just I would work with him on every show. He is another one
Yeah,
that
he was
is.
your Spamalot director.
He was, and he's so generous and so easy to work with.
Gives you
I
freedom.
mean, he's just so,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh.
I've been lucky. I've liked all of the directors I've worked with, and I've learned from all of the directors that I've worked with. I've had challenges. I've played roles that were very challenging.
Yeah.
Cabaret was not an easy. Cliff was not easy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was again another. You have Lenny as the MC, and it was that was just another experience that it's hard for me to believe that these roles were that many years ago, because I can see it.
Fast.
I can see it just like it was yesterday.
And I think it's easy to take for granted.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Each journey, but it does go fast, and there's actors you don't get a chance to even act with
Absolutely.
again. People move on or move away. We lose actors, but I mean those memories.
Yeah, I mean I have more happy. I mean, of course, there's shows that I didn't enjoy as well as others.
Yeah,
my last show in Tallahassee was a disaster. It was The Boys from Syracuse, and it's probably the least fun I've ever had in a musical. I just did not enjoy it. And it wasn't, the director was lovely. The director was great. The choreographer was great. I just did not enjoy being in that show.
Yeah, the substance of what you were doing. Yeah.
I mean, and but I've also had roles that I would do again. I've had directors that I would, I would work with Katie Merriman 100 times. And Brenton Brown is.
He's an icon here.
He is, and he's awesome to work with.
Top notch.
So I mean, we're lucky in Des Moines. We have a lot. I'm sure other states or other cities say the same thing, but we have a good talent pool of. There's a diverse amount of people who are, and if you look at the young folks that are, and I'm just in awe.
It's ever changing.
How talented those young kids are.
You were in one of the big iconic shows of the Playhouse that I was in the reprise of when they did it a second time.
Ragtime.
Yeah. Walk me through that. You were Henry Ford.
That was a beast of a show.
It is.
I played, I think, so I was Henry Ford, but I was also in the ensemble.
Yeah.
So I played multiple roles. I think I counted that I had 16 costume changes for that show.
I believe it.
I mean, it was just grueling. I don't think I could do the show again, but I don't think I could do 16 costume changes in the show again and play that many different people. I didn't play 16 people, but I had 16 costume changes, about 16. But it's a beautiful, the score is just gorgeous. And then you had, everybody in their brother auditioning for it. In fact, the audition process was ridiculous. We auditioned very early, if I remember right. And we went through this first set of auditions, and then weeks passed before we had another round of auditions. And those were just as grueling as the others. So it was an interesting process, but man, that show, the songs are just, and of course Aaron Smith was our Coalhouse Walker.
Yeah.
And I mean, you also had Blake. So, and
that's
another
they just
one
have to leave it emotionally on the floor. It's a gut-wrenching show. Incredible. But then something lighthearted like Scarecrow.
Yeah, and that kind of I happened upon that. So I auditioned.
That's right.
And did not I did not take a role.
Yeah, and that was with John Busby and Brett Spar.
Yes.
As Lion and
So
Tin Man.
the person that was playing Scarecrow, for whatever reason, had to step out of the role, and so I got a phone call from the stage manager saying, "Hey, would you be interested in playing the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz?"
That's a call you don't get every day.
I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
well, let me think about it for a second. You know, I had things going on. Let me make sure that I don't have conflicts that would interfere." And of course I did it.
Yeah.
And
What a compliment too.
but man, that's another one that is not easy.
No.
You have
The
to,
physicality.
the physicality is really hard. But you know, working with the likes of Brett Spar as the Tin Man and John Busby as the Cowardly Lion.
Man, I wish I could have seen
and Caitlin Epperly at the time.
Who auditioned for American Idol. maybe.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was our Dorothy.
Yeah.
It was a great experience, and you know, Tony Hummerkhauser was the director, and Tony was in Des Moines only a short window of time, but he's another one that was just a joy to work with. So he did that, and I was in Hello Dolly in the fall of that same year, and he directed and choreographed that as well. That was a stressful show.
Yeah.
Because we put it was the shortest span. I think we had like 4.5 weeks.
That was the one with Mary Bricker as
Mary
Dolly.
Bricker was Dolly. So I think we had about 4.5 weeks to
That
put
is
that thing together.
really fast.
It
That's
was
cooking.
Oh,
for a
it was.
musical.
That was the only thing I would say.
You almost have to show up off book.
It was.
Oh my
was,
gosh.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I might be exaggerating. I mean, but I don't think it. I know it wasn't the normal amount of time.
Those photos.
Because we were just.
Those photos resurface over and over again. You know, the photos of the wait staff and Mary coming down. You know, that had to have been a big deal at the time.
Yeah.
So a great cast. You know,
It was
local icons.
Yeah.
Chicago. That's a special one for you. So
yeah, and again, that was one where I did not audition initially.
Okay.
But I was on vacation in the Black Hills. I had just gotten back, and Allison Schaefer calls me and said, "Would you have any interest in coming in and auditioning for Mary Sunshine?"
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, sure, why not?
Yeah.
You know, why not?" So I came in and sang the Mary Sunshine song, and got the part.
Oh man.
I gotta tell you, it makes you thankful. It made me thankful I'm not a woman.
Yes.
Because
I'll bet.
the prep for that was so they had a makeup person. They had two.
Yeah.
Who alternated just based on time. That alternated putting my face. I would never have ever been able to figure out how to do that myself.
Yeah.
But I had to come like an hour before call
Oh, I'll bet.
to do the makeup every performance.
And if you're not familiar with theater, call is usually an hour before, so that's 2 hours just to prep for the show. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was again. You have legends like Gina
Gedler. Yeah.
And just a great cast.
No.
So it was fun. It was fun.
I can't even imagine.
I don't
know the Playhouse is dying.
never
to
do
get
drag
it.
again. So.
Oh man.
Unless they do Mrs. Doubtfire and I get Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, dude, it's coming.
But I'm probably
maybe,
too old for
maybe
that.
even Tootsie.
I'm probably too old for that.
But
that's okay.
The producers.
Oh, yeah.
One of a couple of your German roles here.
Yes. So that will also probably remain a favorite.
Acting with.
It was just fun. It was
Maxwell
just
Schaefer.
Max, and the whole cast was so much fun.
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah.
Valu, however you pronounce his last name. Sorry, Paul.
Megan Shetler-Shug.
Megan was in it.
Yeah.
I think that was the first show I did with Megan.
Yeah.
I think. So that was another really big fun show.
And were there dialect coaches at that point, or you're faking your German?
No, I just
from
came to
here.
auditions doing it. So
I love that. Then Les Mis. That's my first show with you.
Ooh, that's another one. I loved that show, and again, the audition process was just as grueling as the.
Oh, it took weeks.
As the other. I mean, it was. I played the bishop, not a huge role, but singing that, who wouldn't want to sing that iconic score?
Oh man.
They did a very nice job of letting who was in the ensemble they spread the wealth, I guess.
They really did.
But everybody wanted to be in everything because the songs are so good. I was so disappointed that I didn't do the song at the end of at the shop with the.
At the end of the day?
I really wanted to do that.
With the cloaks, we all had that.
And I was not originally in Master of the House, but I begged, I said, John, please, I really want to be in that song.
Good for you to stick your neck out. Yeah, absolutely.
So, it was that was another like big, the cast was huge. And if I remember right, we did some Saturdays, 2 shows on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And half the cast got sick.
Yeah. One of them,
I got
Maxwell
sick, but
Schaefer.
I didn't lose my voice.
Yeah.
I got lucky. And even Steve Barry got sick, but he was able to
maintain.
He went to the doctor and was able to maintain the role, but I don't know who else would have done that thing because he was amazing.
Yeah, he was. And I just felt like that cast, it became family. We still celebrate each other. We still check in on each other.
It was another who's who of Des Moines theater. It was so many people that were just.
One of my best experiences ever in theater history. To share that with you and so many others. And I loved that One Day More brought everyone out, whether they were in that little pyramid, that was marching, but everybody got to just soar on that bad boy leading into Act 2. That was extraordinary. So.
Yeah, and that was a very special show for John Vyers. I think he really wanted to do that show. And John, I love John Vyers. He was not a person who shows emotion very much, but I remember him. Of all the shows that I did with him, never once did he hug me until Les Mis.
Oh, that's powerful.
Yeah, because I think that show had some special meaning for him or something.
Yeah.
It was for all of us. It was just.
People still talk about it in Des Moines. People will talk about the Playhouse, and they will recall Les Mis. So,
I would guess that will come around again. At some point.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Let's see. I am so jealous that I didn't stick my neck out to try for this Spam-A-Lot. Man alive!
That's another Ron Ziegler show.
Cast you had,
First time
Charlie,
I worked with
Jackie, and Kyle,
Jackie. The first time I worked with her.
So many.
Yeah. It was, Mark Maddie, who hasn't done theater for a long time, was. Just so many people it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
And I don't remember his name, but we just lost him. I
Oh.
played King Arthur. Tell me about.
Yeah,
that
now
actor.
now that I'm on camera, I'm forgetting his name.
Oh,
But
that's okay.
he was awesome. He was awesome.
He was. It was a great
In
performance.
fact, I was in Urinetown at Stage West when Stage West was still.
Okay.
And he was in that show too. So I'd worked with him before. Kent Fieldson.
Yes. Yeah.
He was a joy to work with. Yeah, so I mean all of the nights we got very close.
Yeah. You could tell.
We all were sweating bullets, and we all had
wigs
wigs, and we would come off stage, and Greg Millar was our stage manager, and he'd give us our towels. I would take my wig off and dry my bald head, and go back on stage. It was just a
Brad was Brave Sir Robin.
Yes.
Which was just a cut up.
And it's another one that you play more than one role. Like I played, you got to play different roles, which was also fun. And then you have a director like Ron Ziegler.
Yeah.
And again, Allison was the choreographer again. So it was a really fun experience.
Yeah, if that comes around another time, I'm not pass and go. I'm going directly to audition.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
a great show.
Major regret.
Yeah.
I know I've lost 2 roles to you, and I'm not bitter. I'm not saying that bitter. I'm saying that out of respect. Willy Wonka. I'm at callbacks with you, and we are asked to sing Pure Imagination. And Brad, when you sang and you got to float up there in your beautiful falsetto, and it was clear to me. It just came so naturally to you, and it was an iconic role for you that just so suited you, but also your incredible instrument, your voice. So mad respect. So.
It was, thank you. I appreciate that. It was another magical experience playing that iconic character. And working with the kids and Allison's vision. I mean, we're so lucky that we had her and are going to have her again next summer.
Yes.
I really want to audition for that show, but I fear that there's not a part for me because
for Legally Blonde.
Yeah, I only want to be in it because she's directing.
Or the parents,
I only want to be in it because she's directing.
Yeah.
But just I pinch myself a lot because I've worked with so many good, not only directors but people. That truly don't have egos. That truly want you to succeed.
They're for you.
Whether or not, you stole the role from them or not. It's, so I feel very lucky to have the people in Des Moines that we have. And I've got a list that I even wrote down of people that I haven't worked with that I want to work with. There's so many people.
Oh, I know.
That, and thank you for your cabarets, because I would not have met. There's so many. Jeremy Jorgensen. I know Jeremy from years. We've auditioned for shows together. But we've never been on stage together.
Wow.
There's just so many. Courtney. I mean, there's so many people that I met through your cabarets that I'm like, I need to be on stage. But Ben Green is another one.
Oh, he's a dynamo.
I don't know if I'll ever get to work with him because he's young and I'm old. So
there's shows for all of that. So golly, No, you did 2 Gene Wilder shows in a row then. You went from Willy Wonka to Young Frankenstein.
I did, and here's another interesting fact.
Yeah.
So the part in The Producers, Franz Liebken, and the part in Young Frankenstein,
Inspector Kemp.
Inspector Kemp, was also played by the same actor in the movies.
Oh, okay.
So in Young Frankenstein, Inspector Kemp is the same person who played Franz Liebkind in the
I got to
Producers.
see you in that. That was such a great role for you.
Yeah.
Oh, you were funny. So the show was incredible.
Yeah.
And I would think, that's another go-to cast where it just second to none, directed by Maxwell.
And we also had a really good crew. That was a lot of fun. Kyle Bogart was, who I love.
Yeah.
If you've ever done a show with him,
Yes, he was our stage manager for Ragtime.
He's so much fun. He was one of the knights in Spamalot. So,
we miss him on stage
yes,
too.
I haven't seen him for
each
a
side
long
of the
time.
stage.
Yeah.
So the other time I lost a role to you, I remember I was approaching your sound. I was turning the corner into the new wing of the Playhouse that had just been remodeled, and they had us audition in that new wing, and you're singing, and I remember the song too, Billy Joel, She's Got a Way.
Oh, Mamma Mia.
Yeah, Mamma Mia, and it was gorgeous, and it was just perfect for your voice. It just, you soared in that moment.
Thanks.
and such a fun show. And I'm not salty about it at all because David told me I'm too young. So
Well, you're lucky
Yeah.
that I won't say your age in case you don't like people
Yeah.
to know, but you don't look your age.
yeah, But oh man, no, you and Maxwell, you had a stellar
It's
cast
always a thrill to
of
be
the
on
guys
stage
and the
with
ladies were.
Max. He's a great actor to be.
Kelly Kramer.
Kelly Kramer.
Holy cow,
Adore her.
Jordana.
She was also in Urinetown. She was the lead in that. So she's another force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. Do you remember who your Sophie?
Oh yes.
I can't think of who that was. Put you on the spot.
You're putting me on the spot.
So
And
if it comes to you later, that's okay.
I love her. She's so sweet.
You've done heavy shows too. Diary of Anne Frank and that was very emotional.
That was the show right before the theater closed for COVID.
Yeah.
So that was
wow.
That was a show that as you know, I don't do much straight plays.
Musicals,
I
yes.
usually do musicals.
Yeah.
Well, as I've aged, I find myself getting more nervous for musical auditions, having to learn dance, having to learn music, having to learn blocking. Whereas if you're in a play, you're just learning blocking.
Yeah.
You have to learn the other two things. But I wanted to do Diary of Anne Frank because of the subject matter, but it's also a beautiful play.
It is.
And
it was.
It really is. And Jodi Jinks was the director, and I'd heard so many good things about her that I was like, I want to work with her. And there's another one that is just she's the sweetest and most generous director. I mean, she's just, and we no longer have her in Des Moines. I found out that she had moved away, and because I reached out to her and I was like, I miss you. When are you going to do it? When are you going to direct another show? And she said, well, I don't live in Des Moines anymore.
The show and your performance were stunning.
Yeah, it was a
very
fun
good.
show.
So,
yeah.
Guys and Dolls again. Oh no, but actually before that, Stuart Little, because you did a show
During COVID.
Before COVID. So and then Theater Finds a Way. And we did Stuart Little, and my wife and I both got to treasure and experience.
And that was great because I had never done a show with your wife either.
Oh man.
So we had done Les Mis, so that was that was a fun experience. And there's another talented kid in Des Moines. Will, who is in Bright Star now. So.
Yeah. Well, as a compliment to you, Julie, my wife, made a statement to me. She's like, we have to see Perfect Rendezvous. Brad's in it. Brad is in your corner. Brad's in my corner. We're supporting Brad. And I was like, you don't even have to sell me on it. I mean, it's such a compliment to the way you are one of those caring entities in the Des Moines theater world that you support people, you encourage people, you care, and it's felt deeply. I had so much fun creating with you guys. Stuart Little was coming when the theater was kind of having to get reborn, you know, and all our props were cardboard.
Yes, I have the ping pong paddle still.
Yeah. So it's so much fun and creativity when theater found a way, and we were masked and we were COVID testing.
Yeah, it was
a nutty
fun,
time.
you know, and again, Katie Merriman directed that, and I just she just has this way. She knows what makes me anxious, and she helps me not to be anxious. So I love working with people like that, and the cast was awesome. It was a fun little show. That was the first kind of children's type show that I'd done at the Playhouse. I've never done, I mean, while Wizard of Oz was maybe considered, it was on the main stage. So I have not performed in the space that is the Kate Goldman.
Wow. Okay.
I've not been in any show that has been there.
They would be blessed. My goodness. Yeah. That needs to happen.
Came close to auditioning for
Alice?
For Alice, yeah.
I would love that for you. So, All Is Calm that was work. That was tough. You guys were working hard to make that beautiful thing happen.
That's another one that was definitely a labor of love. I mean, we were singing in one song, Silent Night, in French, in German, and in English, and we were in two different keys sometimes. It was so difficult. I mean, learning that music, I auditioned thinking, oh, it's a 70-minute show. This is going to be a breeze. This is just going to be a breeze.
Yeah.
And the experience was wonderful. And, there were 10 of us, I believe, 10. We became obviously very close because you had to be. Yeah. Because you had to rely on each other's ears, because you were standing next to someone that might be singing something completely opposite of what you're singing, particularly in Silent Night.
Yeah, if you're doing two.
It was very difficult.
There again, when you have someone like Brenton Brown
Correct.
in your corner
Yes.
to make that successful with the talent, the pool he had.
Oh, there were times I would go home from auditions from rehearsals thinking, I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to do that. And the other thing is I argue all the time that I'm not a first tenor, and he put me at first tenor with Ed.
Yeah.
Who, if you're not intimidated being in a show with that voice, and he was lovely, but I just never saw myself as a first tenor. But that was a stretch. That was a definite labor of love for that show. But it's a beautiful. I mean, it's a gorgeous. Piece.
It gave the theater audience something they will never forget.
I don't think people expected what it was going to be. I don't think they anticipated what it was. Very well received, and in fact, I think the numbers of audience was unexpected. I don't think they expected it to sell as well as it did in the end.
Yeah.
But it was just
It just all aligns. Yeah. There's a special show that you've done 3 times.
Oh.
Yeah.
Music Man.
Music Man.
Yeah.
Walk me through that journey, all 3.
So, end of my senior year, there was a new local theater that was starting. They called it Countryside Community Theater, and they performed in the North Scott High School auditorium, which had just opened my senior year. So my Camelot was the very first show on that stage, which also made it special. So I was like, well, I'm gonna audition. I don't have anything going on. You know, it's summer, I don't have anything going on. Summer before going into college. And I auditioned, not expecting Marcellus at all, you know, and I get this phone call, we want you to play Marcellus. And I was like, really?
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was, you know, was another one where I had a ball.
Yeah.
I had a ball.
Had to dance the shapoopy.
I had a ball. It was so much fun. So I did that. And then the Ingersoll did it in 1999.
And the quartet.
And I was J.C. Squires, also a first tenor, in, you know, the one that sings ice cream.
Yeah.
The high ice cream. And those quartet things are hard that music's deceptively hard. So that was my second time. And then in 2017, I had a sort of a mini spot of time that I was doing really well with roles. That was right in the, you know, Willy Wonka, and then I did Young Frankenstein, and then I came
into
the Music Man. So I didn't initially audition, and then came to callbacks, and the funny thing, I actually got a rejection email, and I think it was by mistake.
Oh man!
So I just thought,
you told, I'm not in it. Okay.
So it was Friday. It was Friday,
What?
and then Monday at my work, the director Stephen calls me and says, "Do you want to play Harold Hill?" So I've played
that's
3 pretty iconic roles in that.
Yes, you have.
The one left when I'm older would be the mayor.
Yeah, holy cow.
So
that's awesome.
It's a great show. As you know, you played Harold Hill
Yeah,
yourself.
that's something we we share. Well, we're running out of time, but I just want to tell you, as someone who's worked with you and someone who's watched you, that I love you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Such a quality actor, but you're a quality friend. You, like I say, you're encouraging, you're supportive. If someone's down, you pick up on it and care. And but a gorgeous vocal instrument, and you know, you're clever, you're tenacious, you're gonna fight to make the role what you need it to be and what the directors want it to be, and I've so enjoyed watching your journey, you know, and now seeing you delve into directing, you know, mentoring others and shaping stories. You know, what I'd say to you is you never swear yourself off though. You know, I think we as older actors, we fear, you know, I'm too old for, I'm too, you know, this is not for, you know, and I guess my word to you is, you know, let the directors decide that, because I still think their theater has so many exciting things yet in store for you, whether it's behind the scenes or knee deep in the scenes. You are a gift to our theater community.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So with that, we will wrap.
All right.
Thanks
you.
everybody. We'll see you for episode 3.